Okay, welcome back. This time we're going to be talking with Sam Johnson, who is the creator of Geek-Girl, and it was just something I found my perusings of Facebook, some of the communities, and it looked interesting to me, and asked Sam if he would do an interview, and also this is our first interview that is international. So let me bring Sam in, and then we'll just talk to him. How's it going?
It's going all right. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Are you? How are things over there for with the whole everything that's going on?
Um, they're hopefully going in the right direction. Non-essential shops were allowed to open this week.
Hmm.
So when you're in town now, it's quite a different feel. Not like you're in the apocalypse so much. So basically, as long as that doesn't now cause a spike in it in corona cases, then hopefully we're heading down the right path.
All right. Well, enough about that. Let's talk about some comics.
Okay.
So one of the questions I'd like to ask people is, how did you get into comics? Do you remember the first comic that you read, or the one that caught your attention?
Well, I read them as a young kid, and then I kind of left them in my teen years. And then one time when I was in a Virgin Mega store, they had a comic section, and some stuff caught my eye there. What got me back into them was when Rob Liefeld came on board New Mutants and brought in Cable and Deadpool and all those. That got me back into them, and it was around about that time where I knew I wanted to be a writer, but deciding what I wanted to write. Relatively soon after that, Image Comics happened, and they ran a talent search. I submitted some stuff for that where you were just like pitching sort of one shots with their characters, and I got hooked, and it was like, right, this is what I want to do.
So tell us a little bit about the origins, or what inspired the Geek-Girl comic, and then we'll kind of talk about the comic itself.
So Geek-Girl, it came about again indirectly through Image Comics in the Shadowline Studios part of Image. We're running a Who Wants to Create a Superheroine contest, and I basically just brainstormed ideas. Came up with 3 for this. Geek-Girl was more of a prototype from what it is now, but it wasn't based on anything or anyone. I just, as I said, brainstormed ideas, and that was the one I liked most. And I was like, right, I want to develop this. I want to really take this somewhere.
So what is who is Geek-Girl? How does she get her powers? And what would you say would be the elevator pitch of this story, or the comic?
It's Geek-Girl. I describe it as Mean Girls meet superheroes. So Geek-Girl is Ruby Kay, who lands on a drunken whim, lands a pair of super tech glasses off the college brainiac. The resident college brainiac where they live in Maine has created these, invented these with the intention of giving himself superpowers. But he and his friend get drunk, and Ruby and her friend get them more drunk, beat them in a game of strip poker, and he loses the glasses to her. So from there, she's trying to demonstrate her powers. She alienates her cool kid clique. They don't buy in this superhero thing. She's not used to the super strength. But her best friend Summer's behind her, pushes into becoming a superhero, jokingly comes up with the name Geek-Girl based on her klutzy actions. Designs a costume for her because she's a fashion student, Summer. And from there, Ruby steps up and goes from being, a fairly sort of vacuous lifestyle it girl to, doing something worthy.
So the preview that you sent me is for issue number 5. What are like the first 4 issues more of like the origin story?
Well, there's a mini series. There's not. I mean, the origin is largely just shown in flashback, but where we're at now is basically through the mini-series, through the first 4 issues of the ongoing, Ruby has become, as I say, has grown from the type of person she was, and has saved the city and turned the tide, or helped turn the tide on a crime wave that had erupted, and has now caught the attention of this guy, Johnny Carlisle, who's looking to set up a super team, and he wants her to head it. So that is issue 5, which is the current issue, is the new direction, the jump on issue, new direction beginning, where Geek-Girl is going to be fronting this super team.
And that was just successfully kickstarted earlier this year, correct?
Yeah, well, we've had a few Kickstarters. The last one we did, issue 5 was in it, but it was primarily for the next arc, which is called Tights and Capes, where we're going to see Geek-Girl, who the Cool Kid clique had alienated from her, but they didn't buy the superhero thing then, and they thought she was just acting like a dork, and they didn't want to be a part of that. But now that she's proven herself and is a legit superhero, they want to be part of what's popular, so they're looking to get back in with her. And this is going on. There's basically Geek-Girl's team is coming together, but there's a thing that kind of puts that on hold, so they get a night off, and they go to this outlandish club night, which is themed on Festivus from Seinfeld. So you've got the Feats of Strength and the aluminum pole and so forth, and the airing of grievances, which is going to be a key thing in it. So yeah, everyone fantastically dressed, and Ruby's kind of wanting to go incognito, and she lets Summer go in the Geek-Girl costume. Summer filled in for her before, when Ruby was put in a coma during one of the big battles. But yeah, this is going to be the reunion of her with the previously alienated Cool Kid clique, who now want to get back in with her. Plus, there's weird stuff going on. There's some guy dabbling with the occult. We don't know quite what he's up to, and there's someone that appears to be sort of following Ruby and her friends, who's going to be coming into this club as well. So yeah, there's some weirdness coming into it, which I've often referenced. Grant Morrison's run on Doom Patrol is my biggest influence. I've had a lot of ideas that I wanted to bring to my comics, but needed an ongoing series for them to do them justice. And Geek-Girl, partly through the Kickstarters, we've now built up the audience enough that we've been able to justify it going ongoing. So there's some weird stuff coming, and I say issue 5 is kind of the beginning of that.
So are there any other writers beside Grant Morrison that influenced your writing? That was, you kind of answered my next question in that question.
Yeah, I mean, it's with Grant Morrison, it's very much what he did with Doom Patrol, which is very evident in the TV series. So it's not like, you know, everything Grant Morrison does, but that was something I just absolutely love and love in the TV show as well. Peter David is an influence. His run on X Factor, back in the original run on X Factor, that kind of influences the kind of team dynamic, the quite quirky team dynamic he had in his X Factor, and we've got that going on with our new team, which is, as I say, Geek-Girl is fronting it, but we've also got Guano Guy, who's the creation of Mark Darden, who through a Kickstarter thing ended up getting involved in his character, getting involved in the series as a potential member. And then you've also got the Whooper, you've got Tyler, and you've got the Minger, who's always got she's got a fantastic looking body, but she always has a big helmet on that covers most of her face. So we're not quite sure what's going on with her.
And so is this, I just recently, found, your book. Is this the first book that you're publishing through Markosia?
Yeah. I've done some other things. My occasional series called The Almighties, which is Avengers, it started as an Avengers parody thing that I co-created with Mike Gagnon. That was published through my own imprint, Actuality Press. But yeah, Markosia picked up Geek-Girl, and one of the things I liked about the deal was they were, I was say I've got big plans for it, and they were committing to a second volume, before we knew what the first volume would do. And yeah, it's building, and the audience is building. So we're running with this, and yeah, they're a part of that. They're invested in it, as am I.
So who's? Can you talk a little bit about the team, the creative team? Your artist. How did you meet him? And anybody else who's been working on the book with you?
Yeah, well, the artist is Carlos Granda, who it took. There was a Geek-Girl Zero, which was a more low-key black and white affair with a different artist. That was quite some time ago, and that was basically introducing the characters in their college world. But it wasn't widescreen tights and capes. The artist. That isn't the kind of thing she does, so she was just on board for that. And then it took a long time we had a few false starts with artists, and it took a long time to get the right artist. I mean, what Carlos brings to it, most importantly, is there's a lot of female characters, and they're easily distinguishable from each other. He can draw hot chicks, which is important, as that's part of the Geek-Girl thing. I mean, it's not a painted on, she's got a skimpy superhero costume, but that's not like you sometimes see on Kickstarter. They kind of go nuts with the scantily clad, or even, no clad, with variant covers and that kind of thing. And they don't necessarily come from the character. It's more of a kind of, it's a marketing tool, basically. So you will never see Ruby Kay in these kind of suggestive poses. Basically, she's a sexy college girl. She wants to look sexy, but that is her. So, as I say, in all the variants we've done, there's never been anything that's like, lewd. It fits the character.
Okay. So, are you just taking it like a mini series approach, or is it an ongoing?
Yeah, well, I'd say during the process of the Kickstarters, it's become ongoing. I mean, my aim was, I think it was we've done 4, and I think it was during the second one. With each Kickstarter, I've had a particular goal in mind. And I think it was the second one where it was like, I want to get the fan base big enough that we can justify it going ongoing. So say I have all these ideas I wanted to bring to it that needed it to be ongoing. There was a 4-issue miniseries, and then there was a 4-issue arc, which could have gone ongoing depending on how things went. And as I say, we pulled off getting it to the point where I could justify it going ongoing. So yeah, it's ongoing. I've got loads of plans for it, and yeah, just yeah.
Are you working on anything else at the moment, or is Geek-Girl getting your full attention?
It is, because we've got, as I say, issue 6 and 7 were in the last Kickstarter, which is the 2-part Tights and Capes arc. So I'm editing the art and the colours and the lettering on that arc. Well, in the meantime, I'm scripting issue 8, which is going to, again, there's going to be this weirdness coming into it. Like we've got. So when the team gets to the point where they're getting trained by a guy called Joe Cyborg, who's actually out of I like to sort of do a cross-pollination shared universe thing, and he's actually out of the Almighty's comic originally, and he's going to be training them, but he's got an assistant, because he's like an old dude, and he's got like a female assistant that's going to be helping with the combat and training and so forth, but she's a rewired sex bot and kind of keeps defaulting back to wanting to have sex with everyone. So it's going to be an interesting training experience.
So it's more of a mature.
Yeah, I mean, we're not doing anything graphic.
Yeah, definitely.
It's Teen Plus rated. So yeah, it's nothing like that, but it's going to be more like a sort of fun thing.
Oh no, no,
Trying to
that makes sense because that kind of falls in line with what you were saying about the Kickstarter covers and
yeah.
just so are you currently reading anything or reread anything that you would recommend that people check out?
I've got really bad with my comics reading. I think partly because I used to always read them on the back from on the bus on the back from the day job, and with what's been going on, that's a different situation. Although now it's okay. But the Star Wars, Marvel Star Wars, is what I'm most into at the moment. The last Punisher series that was basically Punisher versus the whole thing was basically Punisher versus Baron Zemo. That's really good. I'm getting the trades of that. Deadpool. I mean, I always enjoyed Deadpool. That's about it at the moment. But Star Wars is the thing I'm most into at the moment.
Now, how long does it take for you to write or script an issue?
It doesn't take that long, but then I spend. Well, that's sort of the initial version, and then I spend a long time tweaking it and so forth. I mean, I could, if need be, I could get an issue done in a week probably, but there's no need to do that because that's not the rate we're putting them out. So yeah. But I spent a lot more time just sort of plotting what's going to be coming into it and that kind of thing. I say I've got loads of things about Carbraccini, Voodoo Junkie Hitwoman, which is another of my existing characters, ex junkie hooker turned supernatural gun for hire. She swapped her drug addiction for an addiction to this. It's voodoo, but she's made a bastardized version of it, and that she's coming into Geek-Girl in what will be the new art, which I'm excited for. And Carlos is really, because she's quite a scenery chewing character, a bit unhinged, and Carlos is enjoying working on it, which I'm pleased about.
So where can people go to find Geek-Girl?
Well, the best thing to do is just go to geekgirlcomics.com. On the front page of the site, there's a thing to join the mail list, and if you join that, you get a free digital preview comic. So that's the best way. It links to buy-in. You can get the trades at Amazon, and the individual issues are still available as well. But yeah, so go to geekgirlcomics.com, and however way you want to go at it, I'll take you there.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us. It's definitely an interesting and exciting series from what I have read, and I look forward to checking out the first 4 issues and whatever you have coming on down the line.
Thank you. Yeah, well, the new arc, I say 5 is out now, but the new arc we're probably looking at, it's 2-part arcs. So we're probably looking at September and October. Those coming out, and it'll be at Comicsology as well as in print.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else? Do you have anything else you'd like to mention or talk about?
No, really. I mean, this is in terms of what I'm doing with my comics. This is it's kind of, as I say, I've wanted to bring all these ideas, but they required an ongoing series, and now I've got that in Geek-Girl. It's like I'm very satisfied in just doing that for the time being, because I love it. I mean, everyone involved. I didn't mention all the creative team. Chun Zhao is the colorist, Paul McLaren, the letterer. Now, all of these have been involved in almost every issue, including Carlos, of course, almost every issue of the mini and the ongoing, and they're all really into it, and I think that shows. So we've got a great creative team, and we're really happy with what we're doing. So we keep doing that, but the only thing that's on the sort of trajectory is things are going to get weirder, and I'm looking forward to more of that.
Oh well, I'll be looking forward to that. So stay safe, stay healthy, and if you ever have anything else that you want to promote, then you're more than welcome to come on and we'll talk about it.
Cool. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you and have a good day.
You too.
All right.